These are unarguably the most stunning weapons ever. Military. From cutting-edge technology to awe-inspiring deadly power, we reveal the top-secret weapons that will leave you holding your breath. From stealth planes that can't be found by radar to laser weapons that can destroy targets with pinpoint accuracy, these military marvels show how far humans can go with their creativity. Come with us as we explore the secret world of military weapons, where innovation and strategic power meet. Let's see what the future of war looks like. RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade, is a shoulder-fired missile weapon that fires explosive-tipped rockets. Most RPGs are small enough for a single person to carry, and they're often used as anti-tank weapons because it's easy to use, cheap to build, and cheap to launch. Over 40 countries around the world have added it to their arsenals. It's used against both armored and fortified targets and against groups of troops. In the second half of the 20th century, it was used in many wars and battles and was always getting better. SAM, a surface-to-air missile, or SAM, also called a ground-to-air missile GTAM, or a surface-to-air guided weapon. SAGW is a missile that can be fired from the ground to destroy other missiles or planes. It's a type of anti-aircraft system that is meant to stop or weaken the effects of enemy air activity. The Nike Ajax was the first active guided missile SAM system, and the S-75 Davina was the most produced SAM in the Soviet Union. Chemical weapon, Chimera virus. In mythology, a chimera is an animal made up of parts from different animals, like a griffin or a hippogriff. This is how the virus is described. The Center for Veterinary Biologics defines a chimera virus as a new hybrid microorganism made by joining nucleic acid fragments from two or more different microorganisms. At least two of the fragments must have important genes for replication for the virus to be able to spread. Putting together two dangerous viruses makes a new virus more dangerous, which is why hybrid viruses have been thought of as bioweapons in the past. In the late 1980s, the Chimera project in the Soviet Union tried to mix DNA from Venezuelan equine encephalitis, smallpox, and the Ebola virus. The Agni missile. The Agni rocket from India is one of the most powerful weapons on our list. The Agni missile is a group of ballistic missiles made by India. They have a range from a few thousand miles to all the way across the world. Agni missiles are surface-to-air ballistic missiles with a long range and the ability to carry nuclear bombs. The Trident II D5 SLBM. The Trident missile is an SLBM, which means it is fired from a submarine. The missile was first made by Lockheed Missiles and Space Corporation, which we talked about earlier in the piece. It has thermonuclear warheads and is launched from ballistic missile submarines that are powered by nuclear reactors. 14 U.S. Navy Ohio-class submarines and 4 Royal Navy Vanguard-class submarines both carry Trident missiles. The U.S. submarines have American weapons, while the U.K. submarines have British warheads. The name of the missile comes from a story about the Trident of Neptune. ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, is a missile with a range of at least 5,500 kilometers that is mostly used to carry nuclear weapons. It's pointed in the right direction. ICBMs can be fired from airplanes, submarines, missile bases, and other vehicles. They became an important part of the MAD ideology because they gave the country the freedom to hit back and destroy the enemy. It pretty much made sure that the enemy would get hit again. Most current designs support multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, or MIRVs. This means that a single missile can carry several warheads, each of which can hit a different target. ICBMs are only used by Russia, the United States, China, France, India, the United Kingdom, and North Korea. AH-64 Apache gunship. The Boeing AH-64 Apache is an American attack helicopter with 2 turboshafts and room for 2 people in the cockpit. It has a set of sensors for finding targets and devices for seeing in the dark. It has an M230 chain gun with a 30mm barrel, AGM-114 Hellfire missiles, and Hydra 70 rocket pods. In April 1986, the chopper was put into use by the US Army. It has become the main attack helicopter of many countries, including India, Greece, Japan, Israel, the Netherlands, Singapore, and the United Arab Emirates. Hughes Helicopters, McDonnell Douglas, and Boeing Defense BA Space and Security all made the AH-64 Apache gunship. From the 1950s to the 1980s, Hughes Helicopters was an important company that made both military and civilian helicopters. F-35 Lightning II. The F-35 Lightning II is a fifth-generation, single-engine, multi-role fighter plane that has less vision. It is meant to control the airspace, fight against targets on land and sea, and do surveillance. It started out as a test plane called the X-35, which won a battle in the Joint Strike Fighter program. It's still in the development stage, which has been pushed back because of higher prices, more requests, and a smaller budget. In a study released on January 26, 2012, the US Department of Defense said, again, that it backs the F-35 program and thinks it's important. So far, the United States and the United Kingdom have paid for the research. Other countries have joined them and plan to use the plane in their operations. The F-35 Lightning II plane was made in 3 different ways, with a traditional takeoff and landing, with a vertical takeoff and landing, and as a naval plane that can be used from aircraft ships. In all 3 versions, the parts match each other 80% of the time, which is the most they can match. It was possible to stay hidden or stealth, which gave the impression that weapons were being carried inside. The American company Lockheed Martin LMT, which works in aerospace, military, arms, security, and advanced technologies, made the prototype and worked on its design. On December 15, 2006, the F-35 Lightning II prototype took its first flight. The F-35 Lightning II is a multi-purpose plane that is meant to replace all of the middle-class fighter planes that are currently in use by the US, the UK, and other partners. Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. The Nimitz class is a group of 10 aircraft carriers with nuclear power that are used by the United States Navy. Nimitz is the world's biggest warship and the first aircraft carrier in its class. It was named after Chester V. Nimitz, who during World War II was in charge of the Pacific Fleet. Nimitz is the only aircraft carrier in its class that only has the last name of the person it was named after. It is also the only aircraft carrier in its class to be named after a person who was not an elected leader in the United States. It came out on the market on May 3, 1975. On July 7, 1976, Nimitz went on its first trip. Moab, the GBU-43B Massive Ordnance Air Blast, or Moab, also called Mother of All Bombs, is a large-yield bomb that was thought to be the most powerful non-nuclear weapon in the US stockpile at the time it was made. It was made to fight against terrorists and the places in the mountains of Afghanistan where they trained secretly. It was the most powerful conventional bomb in the Pentagon's arsenal. It was based on the idea of a vacuum, so the explosive charge just sucked in oxygen, lit the cloud on fire, and affected everything on the ground and beneath with a shock wave and high temperatures. The bomb is made to be dropped by a C-130 Hercules, especially the MC-130E Combat Talon 1 or MC-130H Combat Talon 2. Its blast has a range of 137.61 meters and can destroy 9 city blocks. The first time the Moab was used in battle was on April 13, 2017, when it was dropped on an ISIS tunnel complex in Achin District, Afghanistan, during an attack. That's all for today. We'll be right back. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.